So is screen visible to all?
Yes, sir. Visible.
So today we'll start with our first part about chemotherapy. So it is introduction to antimicrobial drugs. So chemotherapeutic agents are the chemical substances which are used to treat different types of microbial infections, pathogens, bacteria. So all that collectively we call them as an antimicrobial drugs. And along with that, there are some other synonyms which are also used along with antimicrobial drugs, like antibiotics may be there, antimicrobial is there, antibacterial is there. So this all collectively comes under chemotherapeutic agents. अच्छा सर, स्लाइड का चलना है। Yes, is the screen visible, Sakshi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
So we know that there are different types of bacterial infection which causes different types of illness, which might be mild to severe, which may take some 4 to 5 days to get cured. Some may remain for lifelong also. Some may claim, or it may also lead to mortality or death. So right from the head up to the knee, there are different types of bacterial infection people may suffer from, or the patients may suffer from. So you can see on the screen, there are different types of an bacterial meningitis, which causes an inflammation of the meninges, that is layers or the membranes of the brain, which covers the brain. So it might be Streptococcus pneumoniae, Neisseria meningitis, and many. Then coming to the eye infection, it includes Staphylococcus aureus, Neisseria gonorrhea, otitis, that is infection or inflammation that of the ear. So the bacteria which cause this infection called as Streptococcus pneumonia. Sinusitis, the bacteria responsible for causing sinusitis is Streptococcus pneumoniae, Haemophilus influenza. Then pneumonia is there, Mycobacterium tuberculosis is there, then certain Streptococcus pneumonia is there, Haemophilus influenza is there, Staphylococcus aureus is there. Inflammation to that of an upper respiratory tract infection, that is URTI. The bacteria which causes this URTI is Streptococcus pyogenes, Haemophilus influenza. Gastritis, inflammation to the gastric region, and one of the most important factor for peptic ulcer disease is Helicobacter pylori. So there are certain bacteria which may cause food poisoning, like Shigella is there, Salmonella is there, E. coli, which you all know very well. Then certain skin infections which are caused by Staphylococcus aureus, Streptococcus pyogenes, then urinary tract infection. In short, we call it as an UTI. Then there is sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, most commonly caused by chlamydia, Neisseria gonorrhea, Treponema pallidum, and many. So there are n number of bacterial infections which can be seen, which is caused by different types of bacteria, which may affect skin, which may affect lungs, which may affect your intestine, which may affect your skin. And in order to get rid of this particular bacteria, which we will be calling as an pathogens, which are harmful to the human beings, we need to eradicate those bacteria, we need to eliminate those particular bacteria so that further they don't cause any harmful effects. So the agents which get rid of this particular bacteria that are called as antimicrobial drugs. So these are nothing but the chemicals which are used to treat microbial infections. So जो भी different microbial infections है, the one which are used to treat this infection, they are called as antimicrobial drugs. Now let me tell you, before 1850 or before the introduction of antimicrobial agents, many people they used to get died from common illness. So it might be include like plague. If plague comes, it used to claim lives of hundreds and millions of people. Cholera used to come, it used to claim lives of lakhs of people. Jaundice used to come, it used to claim lives of many people. And we know that the size of the family at that time or during those days, it used to be 8 to 10 children in a family. The reason was that if at all, if any infection, if it has to come in a particular vicinity or in a village, it used to claim the lives of many people. But now, with the advancement in the therapy and particularly with the introduction of antimicrobial agents, yes, obviously the penicillin was the first antimicrobial drug which was introduced, and after the introduction of penicillin, whatever the death rate was there, it was drastically decreased. So this was what was one of the advantage which was seen with the introduction of antimicrobial drugs. But nowadays, many antimicrobial drugs are becoming less useful. Less useful means what? The resistance which is caused the use of an antimicrobial drugs, that is being getting increased day by day. How that we'll see later on. So antimicrobial drugs, as I told you, that it encompasses of different terms like chemotherapeutic agents, antimicrobial drug, antibacterial drug, antifungal drug, antiprotozoan drugs, and anthelmintic drugs. So collectively, this together, these terms, they are used to treat a particular microbe, a particular bacteria, a particular protozoa, a particular insect, a particular worm. Collectively, we'll be calling it as an antimicrobial drugs. Now, whenever we study antimicrobial medications, there are different terms that are used to relate antimicrobial medications. So these terms will be coming every now and then during this chemotherapy. So already with many of the terms you might be aware of, just will be quickly going through these particular terms. So acquired resistance. So it is nothing but the resistance that is developed through mutation or acquisition of new genes. So bacteria, what it may do is that it may develop or it may synthesize certain proteins, or it may bring about certain mutation in its nucleotide sequence, due to which that particular antimicrobial drug, it will not show any effect. It will not kill or it may not inhibit the growth of that particular bacteria. So that we call it as an acquired resistance. Then antibacterial drug. So it is a drug used to treat a disease caused by bacteria, antibacterial, against bacteria. Now antibiotic, see the difference between antibacterial and antibiotic. Now antibiotic is a compound which is naturally produced. Remember what it is? Antibiotic, a compound which is naturally produced by certain molds and bacteria, which is then going to in turn inhibit the growth of or kill other microorganisms. Next term is antimicrobial drugs. Like antibacterial is there, which is used to treat a disease caused by bacteria. In this case, antimicrobial means what? Which is going to inhibit the growth or kill microorganisms. Now remember, see there, this term encompasses antibiotics and chemically synthesized drugs. When we say antibiotic, here only naturally occurring drugs. When we speak about antimicrobial, here it means natural as well as chemically synthesized drugs are included. Next is antiviral drugs, which is a part of chemotherapy. So a drug that interferes with the replication of viruses. Okay. So recently a drug which was introduced by Glenmark, so to treat COVID, which was given an approval by DCGI, it is one of the antiviral drug. Then bactericidal, an antimicrobial drug that kills bacteria. जो kill करेगा उसको हम cidal बोलेंगे. And one which is going to inhibit the growth of bacteria, that we call as a static. Remember, bactericidal, one which kills bacteria, bacteriostatic, one which inhibits the growth of bacteria. Then broad spectrum antimicrobial, or there are terms, the agent which is effective against wide range of microorganisms. That means an agent or a antibacterial drug which kills gram positive as well as gram negative. Along with that, it may be effective against rickettsia, chlamydia type of an infection. That agents are called as a broad spectrum antimicrobial drugs. And we'll then speak about narrow spectrum antimicrobial drugs. So particular agent, it might be effective only against rickettsia. A particular agent, it might be effective only against gram negative bacteria. So in that case, we'll say that that particular agent is having narrow spectrum antimicrobial effect. Next is R-plasmid, which is a plasmid that encodes resistance to one or more antimicrobial drug. The therapeutic index, so it is particularly used to express the toxicity of chemotherapeutic agent. How effective the drug is in order to show its efficacy to kill a particular bacteria. At the same time, it should have lowest toxicity when it is used in a particular patient. We'll speak in detail about it. So there are certain features which are to be remembered about antimicrobial drugs. So most modern antibiotics. Now when I'm speaking about antibiotics, it means these are naturally occurring agents or produced naturally. So these are produced commercially. So we have to select the strain, then that strain is grown in a broth. When maximum antibiotic concentration is reached, we have to extract it from the media. Then purification, and we have to chemically alter it to make it more stable. So biotechnologically, I think in biotechnology, you'll be studying it in more detail, or you might have studied in your microbiology regarding manufacturing of this particular antimicrobial agents. So this is in short how the antibiotics are produced. Next is selective toxicity. So whatever the antimicrobial agents are there, they should cause greater harm to microorganisms and not to the host. Because what happens, whenever an antimicrobial agents are given, whatever the good type of an bacteria are there, these antimicrobial agents may also show harmful effects to those bacteria. Which bacteria are the good? So while selecting the antimicrobial agents, it is very essential that it should show greater toxicity to the microorganisms and not to the host. And in order to choose this particular antimicrobial agents, its chemotherapeutic index has to be determined. So chemotherapeutic index, it is the ratio of toxic dose to the therapeutic dose, or it may be also calculated by taking its LD50, that is lethal dose 50 divided by effective dose 50. So 50 is minimum 50% concentration. So whenever this chemotherapeutic index is selected, its efficacy, it has to be taken into consideration. At the same time, it has to be seen that it is least toxic to the host. So features of antimicrobial drugs, further it includes antimicrobial action. So these two terms already we have discussed, that whether a particular antimicrobial drug is bacteriostatic, means whether it inhibits the growth of microorganisms, or whether it is bactericidal, whether it kills microorganisms. So there might be agent which might be bacteriostatic as well as bactericidal. Spectrum of activity. So this is the next feature of antimicrobial drug. This term also we have covered. So spectrum, we can also say the range of that particular antimicrobial agent. Whether it is narrow spectrum, means which has limited activity to a particular, against a particular infection. And when we speak about broad spectrum antimicrobial, is the one which has a broad spectrum of activity, which kills wide number of microorganisms. So here it will be more clear in this particular slide. So penicillin, so it is effective against gram-negative, gram-positive, and chlamydia. So we can say that penicillin has an we can group it into intermediate broad spectrum activity. For example, the drug like isoniazid, a drug which is used to treat tuberculosis. So it is effective only against mycobacteria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So in this case, this drug we can group it under a drug which has narrow spectrum of activity. While if you see tetracyclines is effective against gram-negative bacteria, gram-positive bacteria, chlamydia, and rickettsia. So if you see that blue line, or by looking at that particular blue line, we can come to know that tetracycline drug, it has an broad spectrum of activity. Next feature of regarding antimicrobial drugs, that is what is going to be the effect if two antimicrobial drugs are added. Now the combination case, it might be effective in certain, or for certain instance it might be not effective also. And yes, many times the combinations are found to be helpful. So it is like just like add drug A with drug B, and this is going to enhance the activity. It is going to show synergistic effect. And even the same second case might be also possible, that if one drug is added with the another, drug A may interfere with the action of the another. For example, if drug A is added with drug B, the thing may happen that the drug B may increase the metabolism of drug A, leading to decrease in the T half of the drug A, and thus decrease in the activity of drug A. So combination may show synergistic effect as well as it may show antagonistic effect. So there are many drugs which are added, which are combined, antimicrobial drugs are combined to show an good efficacy. Next and very important is the adverse effects. So antimicrobial agents, they share some of the common adverse effects, which is seen with almost all the antimicrobial drugs. First one is allergic reactions. So many people develop hypersensitivity type of reactions. So these reactions may include redness of the skin, it may include swelling, It may show edema. So different types of hypersensitivity reactions might be a common adverse effect which may experience after administration of antimicrobial. Next adverse effect is toxic effects. So certain toxic effects are seen, and these toxic effects are seen at high concentration after administration of a drug. Third, again, is very important that many antimicrobial they lead to suppression of normal flora. Normal flora of that of a bacteria which is present in the intestine. So a common problem which you may have experienced, if you remember, that after your doctor has prescribed you with antimicrobial drugs, loose motion or what we say diarrhea is a common adverse effect which is seen after uh, taking this particular antimicrobial drugs. So what happens is that these drugs they affect the normal flora, they kills the normal bacteria, good bacteria which are present in the intestine, which are helpful in the digestion of the food. And due to that, this particular drugs they show diarrhea or they show loose motion type of an adverse effect. So what is done in order to overcome this adverse effect is that antimicrobials they are combined with lactic acid bacillus so that the normal bacterial flora it is kept in a sufficient amount so that the patient doesn't suffer from this particular adverse effect. Next feature is resistance to antimicrobials, and this is again very important and one of the common arising problem with the use of an antimicrobial drugs. So some microorganisms inherently they show resistance to effect of a particular drug. Inherently means what? Drug, there is a drug, antimicrobial drug, which when given, it doesn't show any effect. So it is resistance to the action of that particular microorganism. And second is we call it as an this particular microorganisms or bacteria they develop resistance either through mutation or through acquisition of new genes. For example, agar koi drug it is going to inhibit a particular enzyme. So what that particular bacteria will do is that it will bring about certain changes in the nucleotide sequence of that particular genes, so that that particular drug it will be not effective to eliminate or eradicate that particular bacteria. So mutation, change in the sequence, that might be also seen. So this is how the resistance to antimicrobial drug is seen. So the criteria. So whenever a ideal antibiotic has to be selected, there is certain criteria for its selection. So the antibiotic should be selectively toxic to microbe, but non-toxic to host. It should kill the microbe, which is harmful, but it should be non-toxic to the host. Next, in order to be effective, it is very important, speaking about its pharmacokinetic properties, it should show good body tissue distribution and it should cross the blood-brain barrier so that it is effective for the infection which are to be treated of that of the brain, meningitis. Very importantly, it should remain long enough for long time in the body to be effective. Then the shelf life of that particular antibiotic it should be more. ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो बहुत जल्द समय में उसकी शेल्फ लाइफ खत्म हो रही है. Then it should not lead to resistance. This is somewhat difficult, but many scientists are working for this particular purpose so that it should not lead to resistance. Cost of the drug should not be excessive. It should be hypoallergenic. It should be microbicidal rather than microbiostatic. It should kill the bacteria. It should, so that particular antibiotics are said to be more effective. Then last and most important, that it should not affect the normal bacterial flora. So these are the ideal, some of the criteria while selection of an antibiotic to help it to prove to be ideal antibiotic. So there are different MOA through which antibacterial drugs act. These are the common ones. So there are drugs which are going to show its action by inhibiting the cell wall synthesis. Some drugs may inhibit the protein synthesis, transcription, translation. उसके बाद जो protein synthesis है वो होने नहीं देंगे उस bacteria का. There are drugs which are going to inhibit the nucleic acid synthesis. There are drugs which are going to cause an injury to the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane को injury करेंगे, उसकी वजह से जो membrane है, which is an protective covering of the bacterial cell wall, that will be affected. और उस आगे फिर जो भी उसका सेल का जो है normal dimension, that is going to be get disturbed. Then there are drugs which are going to show their effect by inhibiting the synthesis of essential metabolites. It may inhibit, for example, the folic acid, which is an essential metabolite which is required for the bacteria. So it will not allow the synthesis of folic acid to take place. So this will be made more clear through this particular diagram. So the drugs which inhibit the cell wall synthesis, you can see. So you can see that cell का जो synthesis है, cell wall, उसको बनने नहीं देंगे. So drugs like penicillin, cephalosporin, bacitracin, vancomycin, they act through this particular manner. Then the drugs which inhibit the protein synthesis. So you can see the steps: transcription, translation. So messenger RNA and जो finally protein synthesis है. So drugs will inhibit this protein synthesis. So chloramphenicol, erythromycin, tetracycline, streptomycin act by this particular manner. Then there are drugs which inhibits or they may cause an injury to the plasma membrane. So example is polymyxin B. Then there are drugs which bring about or show its action by inhibiting the synthesis of essential metabolites. So sulfamethoxazole is there, trimethoprim is there. So as I told you that they will not allow the synthesis of folic acid to take place. So this action will be shown by inhibiting or by interfering with the enzyme like dihydrofolate reductase, tetrahydrofolate reductase, and eventually not allowing to for the formation of folic acid to take place. Then there are drugs, antibiotics, which are going to inhibit the inhibition of nucleic acid replication and transcription. So you can see in the diagram the drugs like quinolones and rifampin act through this mechanism. So we'll be seeing in next lecture entirely about in detail how exactly the cell wall synthesis at molecular level is inhibited by this penicillin, cephalosporin, and other category of drugs. So in order to check the susceptibility of a particular antibiotic, Kirby-Bayer method is used. You might have performed this particular practical in your microbiology practicals in our lab. So simple method to check the susceptibility: bacteria is spread on the surface of agar plate. 12 discs, each with different antimicrobial drugs placed on agar plate. And incubated drugs diffuses outward and kills susceptible bacteria. And finally, the zone of inhibition is counted, and its size is compared with the chart, standard chart, which is available in the laboratory. So this is how the zone of inhibition, in order to check the susceptibility of a bacteria, is checked and counted. So resistance to antimicrobial drug, and that is what is the first part, first unit of your syllabus tells about, is drug resistance which is being developed by antimicrobial drug and which is the most common concern. So as you can see on the slide that penicillin G, which was introduced, the first antimicrobial drug which was introduced, only 3% of the bacteria were resistant to it. कितने? सिर्फ 3%. Now, see, around 90% of the bacteria are now resistant to penicillin G. So just see the difference. पहले 90 penicillin used to kill 97% of the bacteria. Now penicillin G can kill only 10% of the bacteria. So just imagine how spontaneously, how drastically the bacteria have developed resistance to the antimicrobial or antibiotic agents. So what is the cause? Why this resistance is developed? So there are certain important mechanisms which are responsible for the development of resistance to these antimicrobial drugs. So first one is inactivating enzymes that destroy the drug. So bacteria, what they have done is that they themselves have developed, synthesized certain bacteria, like for example, cephalosporin or the penicillin. This drug, they they consist of beta lactam ring in their structure. What the bacteria have developed, they have developed enzyme like beta lactamase. This beta lactamase enzyme, what it does, it restricts or this beta lactamase enzyme, it destroys or it breaks the beta lactam ring which is present in the structure of these drugs. So this is one. It inactivates the enzyme that destroys the drug. Second mechanism responsible for resistance is decreased drug accumulation. Now it's obvious that for a drug, in order to kill the bacteria, it has to enter inside the bacterial cell wall. Then and then only it can show its action. Now what has happened that bacteria, they have developed certain mechanisms by means of which the drug is now unable to penetrate inside the bacterial cell wall. इसका मतलब if less amount of an bacteria will go inside, less amount of antibiotic drug will go inside the bacterial cell wall, less is going to be the effect. So this is the second mechanism. Third mechanism responsible for resistance is altering the binding site. So जो भी target है, if there is change in the target site, that particular antibiotic drug which initially used to identify the target, that target site, it has been altered, and due to that the binding of the drug with that particular target will not take place. With the binding of the drug with the target will not take place, ultimately the effect of the drug, it is not going to be seen. Next mechanism is development of alternative metabolic pathways. So bacteria, they have, in order to like the drugs like sulfonamides and the trimethoprim, they inhibit the enzymes by means of which they doesn't allow the synthesis of folic acid to take place. But now what the bacteria have done is that they have developed alternative metabolic pathway in order to bring about the synthesis of their essential metabolites. And due to that, yes, if they are getting that particular their essential metabolites, they can grow, they can proliferate, they can further invade the host. So these are the different mechanisms due to which we can see and shift in case of penicillin. And it is not only with the penicillin, even many newer antibiotics, we can see that this problem of resistance is getting developed very rapid. So diagrammatically it will be more easy for you to understand. So first one you can see upper one, that is non-resistant cell, and second diagram is of a resistant cell. Now in non-resistant cell, So this is a cell which has not developed. This is a bacterial cell which has not developed any resistance. So drug when given, when administered, it will enter. So you can see very easily it is entering inside the bacterial cell. Then it will find its target. So once it finds the target, it will get bind with its target. And once it binds with its target, further it will bring about the bactericidal or bacteriostatic action depending upon the type of an or category of a drug. Now see the second diagram now. So all the mechanisms will be very much clear by looking over here. So first if you see toward the left side, that is resistance is developed due to increased elimination. Increase, I'm not saying decrease elimination, increase. So you can see the drug initially, जो भी drug है in a triangle shape, yellow one, it is entering inside the cell. But what the bacteria does now is that it has developed certain pathways. So it has developed an efflux pump. The drug enters, but due to certain machinery, that particular drug, it is eliminated. Okay? But the drug is not remaining for more amount of time in that particular bacterial cell wall. So this is one of the reasons for resistance. Second reason is that at the top one you see that drug inactivating enzyme. So drug जो है after administration, it will go inside the bacterial cell wall, but bacteria will develop certain enzymes which will be inactivating that particular drug. For example, the beta lactamases. So beta lactamases, what it does, it breaks down the beta lactam ring. So this is a second reason for elimination. For resistance of an antimicrobial. Third reason to the right side is alteration in the target molecule. As you can see that what the bacteria has done, it has brought about certain alteration, certain modification. So when a drug enters the bacterial cell wall, it will be not able, or it will be difficult for a drug to identify its target due to alteration. And eventually due to it, the drug will not show any of its action which is desired in order to get rid of that particular bacteria. And to the lower side, you can see that there is decreased uptake. So why this decreased uptake? Because whatever the proteins, purines are there, they have brought certain modifications in their structure. That particular bacteria, they have brought modification in the protein in their structure, due to which the drug which used to easily get bind to that particular protein, or which used to get penetrate to that particular protein, now it is difficult for that particular bacteria to go and get attached with that particular protein, and ultimately the entry inside the cell, it is restricted. So how bacteria become resistant to this particular antimicrobial? So it might be through either spontaneous mutation, or it might be due to gene transfer or transfer resistance. So this is next slide, how we can see the bacteria become resistant, and if the resistance bacteria are there, how they further may cause a problem in the chemotherapy. So you can see in the first plate, so there are sensitive bacteria and resistant bacteria. So which are the sensitive bacteria? After addition of an antibiotic, very easily that particular sensitive bacteria will be get eradicated, while the resistant one are the one with the pink one, you can see, which even with the action of an antibiotic, they will be not getting killed or eradicated. So in next petri dish, the antibiotic is added. So the blue one now are what are the dying bacteria. These are the sensitive bacteria which are getting died rapidly. And in the third petri plate, you can see the pink type of dots. These are the one which are resistant bacteria. They have brought certain changes, they have brought certain mutations, they have brought certain alterations in their bacterial cell wall, due to which that particular antibiotic is not showing any effect or not found to be effective. And then later on, what happens in the fourth petri dish is that this resistance bacteria, they start to proliferate, they start to multiply, and instead of getting rid of that particular bacterial infection, the bacterial infection or that particular bacteria, they further starts to show invasive action in that particular host. So slowing the emergence and spread of antimicrobial resistance. So that is the most important topic. I think this last year theme was also based on that. So it is a responsibility of the physician. So what happens that the physician must identify microbe. So which type of a bacterial infection is there, that has to be known, and accordingly the antibiotic agent which is effective for that particular bacteria, that has to be checked by the physician. Then it is also not only the responsibility of the physician, it is also the responsibility of the patient. Need to carefully follow instruction. So this is the most important thing. What happens that the main problem with of the resistance is that doctor or the physician prescribes the antibiotic therapy for 3 to 5 days. For example, take for 5 days. So these 5 days are essential so that completely the eradication of bacteria should take place. But what the people or what the patient do is that they take the drug for initial 2 days. They think that now they are everything is all well. Now no need to take further drugs. And if or the patient they stop taking drugs further, they may feel good. But what happens? For example, first dose the patient has taken. Suppose there is, hypothetically will speak, there is 100 number of bacteria which are present. First dose was taken, it killed 30%. Second day the dose was taken, it killed another 30%. Patient thinks that now he is feeling good. But later on, what happens that those 30%, 40% which is now present in the host, they start to multiply, they start to proliferate, and later on they also come to know that how this particular drug has killed them. So there is spontaneous or genetic changes which is then brought by that particular bacteria. And then after 6 months or after a year, if a particular patient is again suffering from the same infection or any type of an illness, and if the same drug is given to that particular patient, that drug, it doesn't show any effect. Third is, we should educate the public. So education is very important, that unnecessarily don't take the what you can say antibiotic. So what happens is that patient, what they do is that they go, suppose they are having any illness, they on their own they will go and take coprofloxacin. They will go and take suppose it is a throat infection, they will take azithromycin. They will go and ask for Roxil. But remember that whatever the throat infection is there, 95% of the throat infections are caused due to virus and not due to the bacteria. So tell me how these particular drugs are going to be effective. So education of the public is very important over here. And last, that is the global impact. So organism that is resistance. In some countries, what happens that it is very strict. In India, we know that very easily you go to the chemist shop and you ask for a particular antibiotic. Very easily he will give you without a prescription. But in other countries, the case is not the same. They will not even prescribe or they will not even give you a single drug until and unless the prescription is there. So country like India, where non-prescription drugs are given, and if there is any travel history, there might be chances that that particular resistant bacteria may travel along with it. Even in case of animals, it is not only with this. So animals को अगर हम antibiotic देते हैं, so that particular resistance bacteria might be present in that particular animals, and the same may come to the host, and the cycle may continue with case of an resistance. So new approaches to antibiotic therapy are needed. Scientists has to work to find out new antibiotic targets in pathogens, and discovery of new and unique antibiotic is necessary. So this is and very important one of the even though antibiotic these are there for the human or for the mankind since centuries, but yet this is one of the important and one of the vast area yet which is being investigated by many scientists worldwide, so that whatever the antibiotics are there, they should uh, be effective, they should be susceptible, they should be least resistance against the bacteria or by the bacteria.